Parent hack 5, eat, sleep, move. This is about health. You know, back when this remote learning journey first started, a fellow parent friend of mine started a group on Facebook, and she called this group 5 kilometers a day to stay sane in term 2. And all these parents from all over the place have joined this group where they've committed to doing 5 kilometers of walking, running, or biking every single day to stay sane in term 2. Perhaps you can relate to that, this idea of I've got to do something to keep myself together, which is highly appropriate given the last hack we just talked about was our own mental health and that idea of nurturing our own mind. 5 kilometers a day to stay sane in term 2 sounds like a good plan for me and hopefully a good plan for you. What's the importance of this? Well, you may have heard it said, you know, the 3 things we need to be focusing on are sleep, diet, and exercise. Sleep, diet, and exercise. My words, sleep, eat, move. This idea of investing into our own health is important, and even more so now while we're all navigating remote learning, while we're all navigating being in isolation, being in quarantine, doing all of these things that none of us anywhere are used to doing. You know, where this can cause a real problem is if you sleep too little and you eat too much and you move not enough. And perhaps you can relate to that, or maybe there's one area where you're like, yeah, I've really been like either overindulging or underindulging or not having my habits set up in that particular place. This is important. Eat, sleep, move. This is about having the right kind of nutrients that you need and the right kind of nutrients that your children need. Are they moving? Are they engaging in physical activity? Because here's the thing, as I've said previously, walking around the block at recess is so easy to do, right? Why don't we do it? Because it's easy not to. It's easy not to be disciplined in what we're eating. It's easy not to be engaged in physical exercise. It's easy to stay up a bit too late and binge watch Netflix and do some of those things which are not helping our own health, and they're certainly not helping us to give our best to our children. And perhaps that's the experience in your home right now. Well, as I've said all along, no judgment whatsoever. This is about encouraging you and giving you some strategies. How can you make eating and sleeping and moving a priority in your house? Well, there's lots of ways. One of the things that we have found to be really good is not just walking around the block, but actually incorporating movement into what we do inside the home. The kids, funnily enough, we live in a 2-story house, and downstairs it's all floorboards. Quite a big area between rooms, and so the kids have got their scooters. My kids are 8 and 10. Their scooters have now made their way into the house, something I normally would never allow. But given what is going on, if they want to scooter around the house, you know what? Do it to your heart's content. And it's so funny because they will scooter from their desk, which is in our media room. They've got their own desks set up, one each for both of them. And they'll scooter into my office to ask me a question about their learning, which is just the room next door. But it's hilarious because I hear them coming and I'm like, you scooter in, and they'll scooter into my office to get something off the printer. And I've relaxed the household rules, which for a person who likes things perfect like me is quite difficult to do. Do I have any friends, right? So I've relaxed the household rules of no scooters inside to incorporate this sense of physical activity. And we've been doing some great stuff. There's stuff that we access, things like Go Noodle. There's some great dance apps. There's some great stuff on YouTube that people have created. And we have just made it fun. We've incorporated physical activity as much as we can into what we do. We've had balloon matches. We've thrown socks to each other. Just all sorts of stuff to incorporate physical activity more so than we normally would, because we're not normally stuck inside our house. So find ways to incorporate that. What do you need to do to eat more healthily as a family? What are some simple changes? Maybe just one simple change that you could make. Maybe you and the kids could get all your snacks prepped and pop them in the fridge. That's what we do. And they can go there anytime to get their healthy fruit snack or their fruit and crunch and sip or whatever. All different schools call it different things. But what we tried to do is say, you know, you can go and get anything from here anytime. And we've got crackers and fruit and veggie carrot sticks and all that stuff in there. Now, you don't have to do exactly that. I'm telling you that just to give you some ideas. What could you do to incorporate some more natural, healthy things into your everyday life? And when it comes to sleep, if you're like a lot of parents out there, we always feel like we need just a little bit more, right? It's never quite enough sleep. And particularly if you've got younger children or you've got children at school and you've got toddlers and babies, I know it's crazy town, all right? It is crazy trying to get enough sleep. Here's the thing. Investing in rest is something you must do. You need to find a space, even if it is not sleeping. Resting can be just as helpful. It can't take the place of sleep, but just having a rest, having a space where you go and rest and just do something. Mental chocolate, we call it. What is your mental chocolate? Is it watching a show? Is it, you know, looking around on social media? Although don't do too much of that, especially in this climate, you know, people can get a bit crazy. What is your mental chocolate? What do you do to rest? Invest in rest and let this be part of the way you sleep, eat and move. And what do your children do to rest? What is encouraging to them? What's energizing for them? How will you incorporate that into the shape of your day? Investing in rest, sleep, eat and move. Do all of these in the right amounts every day. This is Hack 5 and it's all about health.